There have been some eye-catching reports coming out of Silverstone, with newly onboarded asset Adrian Newey reportedly making demands from team owner Lawrence Stroll. Word has it that the Brit isn't completely content with Lance Stroll's performance and feels that Lance isn't capable of unlocking the full potential of the car. With this, discussions about changing things up at Aston Martin are heating up, and some suggest a significant shakeup could be on the horizon in the near future. So the big question is, will Adrian Newey influence the team's driver lineup? More importantly, will he play a crucial role in breaking the nepotism that's been restricting the team's growth and the true potential of their recent signings? Adrian Newey is set to start his role at Aston Martin later this year, with his first official duties expected in March. From the outset, it seems he's not looking to waste any time when it comes to making an impact. Newey, being a mastermind of strategy, has already considered the driver lineup as one of the major barriers to unlocking the car's true capabilities. According to reports from Silverstone, he even went as far as making private requests to Lawrence Stroll regarding the involvement of his son Lance in the team. It's clear that Newey isn't afraid to tackle one of the more controversial subjects in the team, Lance Stroll, a driver often seen as the odd one out in Formula One. The situation becomes more complicated when you consider the larger picture. Lance Stroll's position in the team is not solely based on merit. His father, Lawrence Stroll, is a significant investor, and his involvement with the team means that as long as Lance has a seat, the investment will continue. However, Lawrence knows that Formula One is a business, and business decisions can override personal ones, especially when things aren't going as planned. The question remains, could Lawrence regret keeping his son in the team, especially as the pressure mounts for Aston Martin to reach the top? This report comes from the Daily Mail, specifically from Jonathan McAvoy, and it paints a picture of Aston Martin ready to overhaul its driver lineup for 2026. The plan reportedly involves bringing in top-tier drivers like Fernando Alonso and Max Verstappen. However, that vision may face hurdles. Verstappen himself has said he wants to evaluate his future with Red Bull first, which complicates matters. There's ongoing speculation surrounding Verstappen's future, with his father, Jos, continuing to stoke the fire by talking about possibilities beyond Red Bull. Now, let's shift back to Adrian Newey and the influence he could have on Aston Martin's trajectory. The very fact that he's been willing to challenge the most protected driver on the team, and arguably the entire grid, highlights his confidence in the value he brings. Newey isn't one to waste his time offering feedback to drivers who don't show potential or don't deserve it, no matter how harsh that may seem. To put it simply, 2024 has been a tough year for Lance Stroll, scoring only 24 points compared to his teammate Fernando Alonso's impressive 70 points. It's hard to ignore the disparity in performance. If you want a clear example of how far Lance still has to go, just watch the warm-up lap at the 2024 Brazilian Grand Prix, a moment that likely won't be remembered fondly in his career. But it's not just Newey's arrival that signals change at Aston Martin. In addition to him, the team has been able to bring in some highly experienced personnel. Enrico Cardal, the former technical director at Ferrari, and Andy Cao, who served as Mercedes engineering director, are joining the ranks. From 2025 onwards, Cao will take on the role of team principal. On top of all this, Honda's involvement as the engine supplier in the upcoming regulations has added another exciting layer to Aston Martin's future. But these changes come with their own set of challenges for Lawrence Stroll. Lawrence Stroll likely understands that Lance may not be fully committed to showing his true potential, knowing that his seat is essentially guaranteed as long as his father is in charge. However, this creates a potentially tricky dynamic, as other key figures in the team may not tolerate mediocrity, especially given the high stakes involved with these significant investments. The new hires didn't come in just to watch Lance struggle and repeatedly make mistakes on the track. What makes this situation even more intriguing is that while Adrian Newey certainly stands out as one of the most powerful figures to join Aston Martin, he's not the only one with influence. Lawrence's leadership will be tested not just by Newey but by a wave of new personnel who are eager to bring the team closer to championship contention. And this season will be no different. The team will be trained together, and one factor that could ultimately sway the direction of the team is Honda's involvement. Honda has shown a great track record of nurturing their drivers, so their input could have a major impact on the decisions made regarding the driver lineup. Take a look at how long they kept support behind driver Pierre Gasly, despite his tough start at Red Bull. Now, Gasly is a legitimate contender for a seat at Aston Martin, which adds an element of poetic justice to the situation. Honda potentially taking drivers and engines away from Red Bull and bringing them to their new partner. This complex mix of factors means that Lawrence Stroll will face a tough decision, one that could determine the future of Aston Martin for years to come. If his strategy goes beyond just making a splash with new hires, Adrian Newey has made it clear that he's focused on optimizing the team's performance, and that means aligning with drivers who can extract the maximum potential from the car. He's reportedly expressed a desire to work alongside drivers like Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton, or even Ferrari, as part of his legacy. However, it's clear that Ney's priorities will likely revolve around maximizing the talents of someone like Alonso. Having a two-time world champion on board would offer a wealth of experience, especially as the team aims to compete for the top positions in the Constructors' Championship from 2026 onwards. The situation, however, doesn't just revolve around driver dynamics. If Aston Martin wants to compete at the highest level, they need consistent performances from both cars. Just look at how McLaren managed to be competitive this season, with strong finishes from both of their drivers. If Aston Martin is only competitive in the Constructors' Championship with one car, that will spark serious discussions about potential changes to the driver lineup. This is where the next few years will prove crucial for the Silverstone-based squad as the pressure to perform continues to mount. A potential turning point for Lance Stroll could come in 2026. Fernando Alonso has already indicated that his contract ends that year, and he doesn't plan on continuing much longer in Formula One. While Alonso has spoken about the challenges ahead with the new regulations and car changes, it's clear that 2026 will likely be his swan song. As he mentioned, he will approach the season with the mindset of delivering results, knowing that his time in Formula One is limited. For Aston Martin, this could open the door to a new phase in the team's development, and potentially even a shift in the driver lineup. It's important to note, however, that the project to bring Verstappen on board in the future may not necessarily be about replacing Alonso, but rather about a bigger vision for 2026 and beyond. Reports indicate that Aston Martin could offer Verstappen a record-breaking deal worth up to £1 billion over several years, although no formal offer has been made yet. But with Verstappen's future with Red Bull still uncertain, there's a sense that his next move could very well be influenced by the team's ability to build a competitive car. However, despite all these rumors and speculations, Red Bull has its own issues to address. The tension and unrest within the team, particularly stemming from Horner's leadership, has been one of the driving factors behind Ney's move to Aston Martin. The situation at Red Bull is far from perfect, and it's clear that the team has a tough road ahead in 2025. According to Jos Verstappen, Max's father, Red Bull's challenge is to build a car that will continue to win races. If they fail to deliver, it's possible that Max could seek a move elsewhere. Jos has even gone as far as to say that Max's future at Red Bull is not set in stone. If the car isn't up to par, a change could be on the cards. The internal struggles within Red Bull could create an opening for teams like Aston Martin to capitalize on potential driver shifts. This creates even more uncertainty about Lance Stroll's future with the team. Given the pressure surrounding him and the team's ambitious plans, it remains to be seen how things will unfold for Aston Martin in the coming seasons. Well, that wraps up today's discussion on the latest developments at Aston Martin and the potential changes that could be coming to their driver lineup. There's no doubt that Adrian Newey's arrival is shaking things up, and with so many big names involved, the next few seasons could be crucial for the future of the team. Will Lance Stroll's position be at risk? Will the new faces in the team, including top drivers and technical minds, be enough to propel Aston Martin to the top? And how will the ongoing uncertainty at Red Bull impact the driver market? The drama is far from over, and it will be fascinating to see how it all unfolds. But now, we want to hear from you. What do you think? Will Ney's influence be the game-changer Aston Martin need? Could we see a major shift in the team's driver lineup in the near future? Or do you believe Lance Stroll's position is safe, despite the pressure building around him? Drop your thoughts, predictions, and opinions in the comments below. We love hearing from you. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay updated on all things F1 and Aston Martin, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. By subscribing, you'll be the first to know when we post new content, including more deep dives into the latest developments in the world of motorsport. And before you go, make sure to check out the video on your screen right now. It's all about Lewis Hamilton's latest testing schedule with Ferrari, and you won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.